The reason why I almost ended my life on the Brooklyn Bridge was because 20 years ago, I played Jar Jar Binks in Star Wars. I faced a media backlash that really made me feel like my life was over.
What the fuck? Ahmed Best, the man who played Jar Jar Binks, almost committed suicide because of the hate he got. Yes, that hated character from the prequels, which by the way is the only character with actual human emotions and traits in the Phantom Menace. I'll say it right now. Star Wars fans are the most toxic fanbase in the world, and the hate from the prequels has just moved on over to the sequels. These sort of people who attack others for their involvement in movies that these people didn't like are everything that's wrong with the internet today. Their precious originals can do nothing wrong, and any new Star Wars movie is a disgrace to the originals and violates their childhood memories. And therefore they'll attack the people who made them, which just proves that most Star Wars fans are fucking children. And no, not actual children, just those weird, immature man-childs out there. Whack. I found this man called The Amazing Lucas who made this video around 2 years ago. Yes, I know it's 2 years ago, but I didn't have a channel back then, but I wanted to talk about it. So that's why I am. But he was ranting about The Last Jedi, and let me just prove my point here.
I hope everyone in this movie and everyone who had participation in making this movie come to life, I hope they get cancer, they go through excruciating pain of chemotherapy, and then on their deathbed at the last second, they're healed miraculously. Just so they can experience the pain and angst that they put me through while watching this piece of shit film.
Ah yes. You not liking The Last Jedi is equivalent to thousands of people having cancer. I can just tell this man has never had any real troubles and problems in his life, because only a person without any empathy would ever say anything like this. Also, so the intention behind this video isn't about getting technical with people's movie opinions, but I just wanted to address some of this man's arguments here because it adds to my point of how people just want to hate on things.
All men in this film, for the most part, took a backseat to women, to the strong women.
I disagree. The two most intriguing characters in this movie that go through the most character development are Kylo and Luke, who are both males. Yes, you're referring to the Finn and Rose plotline, which everyone can agree is a bit lackluster compared to the rest of the film, but it has way more going on than, let's say, the Tatooine scene in Phantom Menace. At least this plotline has an actual theme of good and evil in war. A theme is something we don't see very often in Star Wars.
There is no way on God's green earth she would stand toe-to-toe to Luke f***ing Skywalker.
Why not? Luke in the movies has never been anywhere near the level of the Jedi of the prequels like Anakin and Mace Windu. He was never a great fighter to begin with. He beat an old and crippled Anakin because of the dark side. For many years, Luke had been cut off from the Force, and only in this fight do we see him even open up to it again. But that's only after the fight. He's old, Rey is young, and she's been fighting her whole life. Of course she can beat a non-Force using hermit Luke Skywalker. Of course. And also, in case you missed it, Luke disarms her. Only when she grabs a lightsaber does she win. Your hate has no support behind it, you're just hating for no reason. So shut up.
Because you remember the scene with Yoda when, what was it? I forgot the movie, but when Yoda starts kicking ass, he's like, moves that, and then he grabs his lightsaber, and amazing scene. The best scene out of the movie.
Best scene in the movie? If you think Luke's character in The Last Jedi is a disgrace to him in the originals, then Yoda using a lightsaber and flipping around Count Dooku in Attack of the Clones is fucking murder to Yoda's character. The scene in Empire Strikes Back when Yoda, this tiny ass little green old monster thingy, lifts the X-Wing out of the swamp is one of the most moving scenes in all of Star Wars. The fact that this little creature was one of the most powerful Jedi to have possibly ever lived opened up so many fantasies about him. Yoda taught us that a Jedi is not about swinging a lightsaber, but rather about being one with the Force. This scene was completely against what Yoda ever stood for. You're criticizing Luke for not being Luke, but you're praising Yoda for not being Yoda. You're a hypocrite. But alright, this guy's not alone. There are so many other people like Lucas out here who are just the same or even worse. People who, instead of looking at the actual flaws of the movie, such as a lack of character arcs for some characters, contrasting themes that make the plot messy, random and useless scenes that have no purpose in the movie, and much, much more. But instead, people are finding dumb things to bitch and moan about, because they feel sad that their precious Star Wars has been ruined. And in turn, they're being hateful towards those who made the movies. This is just plain racism. And any so-called Star Wars fan who had actions even resembling this isn't a Star Wars fan and should feel ashamed. Because it's a fucking disgrace. But alright, my last video was about why I feel The Rise of Skywalker was disappointing. That's hate, you can say. But I wasn't being hateful about it. It's alright to dislike a movie and have opinions about it. I don't care if you don't like The Last Jedi, as long as those opinions aren't toxic and directly attack the people responsible for the movies. Because if that's the case, then people won't seek artistic ingenuity anymore. People won't attempt to make new stories with different emotional effects. Franchises like Star Wars will just start making movies that cater to their fans, with stupid fan service and stale stories. Kinda like The Rise of Skywalker. Most of the problems of that movie stem from the hate that The Last Jedi received. People hated the new direction Rian Johnson took Star Wars, and therefore Disney had to make a sequel, which has nothing new to give. But the true problem with all this hate that the internet has these days from people such as the amazing Lucas is that people such as Rian Johnson, Kelly Marie Tran, and Ahmed Best, who just tried to make the best movies they could, are people being emotionally and mentally attacked on platforms such as Twitter and forced to delete the app, and in this extreme case forced into thought of suicide. All while these dickheads have no decency or empathy, who just didn't like a movie but keep going on as if they've done nothing, and they'll keep doing it, because on the internet, there are no consequences. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this quick rant. Yeah, I have a lot of pent-up feelings about Star Wars, and I know the last many episode videos, whatever, have been Star Wars, but I promise next video will not be Star Wars. Hopefully. But yeah, if you like what you see, like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.